All right, so need to turn the camera around. Here I have Ember by my side, and Ember is sharing with me some amazing wisdom dealing with, I'd say, I suppose, Kabbalah or Jewish mysticism or the Hebrew language and its magic. So, what do you got to share with us, brother?
So I listened to a video by allegedly Dave talking about how there was, I think it was the Duke of Brunswick, that's probably wrong, but there was some privileged, affluent gentleman, not so gentle, it's kind of weird thing that he did. He took a mother who was pregnant with twins and moored her on an island. This mother could not speak and she could not hear. She raised the children, and this man who was affluent, as this kind of science experiment, he returned to the island to watch them grow and progress and make sure they're okay, until he came back when they were in their teens and they're speaking fluent Paleo-Hebrew. And the idea is that language is actually a natural expression of our physiology. There are certain tones and articulations that will reverberate this anatomy. And even the baby can illustrate this. Wawa, mama, papa. And in Paleo-Hebrew, the ah is the most common vowel, if not the only. Some people say it's the only, there's also the Y. So I became interested in Paleo-Hebrew as a subject and started looking at how every time you see the word God in the Bible, the original Greek, it says tetragrammaton. Tetra meaning four, gram coming from to weigh something, like a gram of something. And I looked into this tetragrammaton, and that it was translated also as YHWH, the unpronounceable name of God. And going into that further, I started going into the Hebrew characters, and then I started looking at this fourness of the reality, how there's this, even the Trinity in its oneness can be seen as a fourness, because you have the three distinct, and then the one unifying those three. And Martin Kenny of Pineal Foundation has an incredible video about the number 4, the 4 seasons, the 4 elements, 4 parts of the body, the head, the arms, the torso, the legs. And I started looking at ancient depictions of the zodiac wheel and how there were a lot of pictures in the tetragrammaton, and I found one that had Yod He Waw Chet instead of Yod He Waw He. So if you look at how to pronounce the tetragrammaton, most of the time it's going to be Yod He Waw or Vav. Vav, Waw, interchangeable to V and the W. And I found this one that was completed with the Chet. And this observation was synchronistically validated by
Santos, mira nada más, mira hermano.
Oh, look at that food.
There's my taco.
Beautiful.
Wow, what a time to come.
Beautiful.
All right.
Beautiful. I can hold it while you eat.
Yeah, you do that.
Yeah. All good.
Okay.
So, there's an amazing chemical astrologer that I also follow named Levette. Levette, if you ever see this, I love you so much. And she was also articulating this need of the Chet to actually make this word in balance. And when I looked at the elemental association of these letters, the Yod is fire, the He is air, the Waw is water, and the Chet is earth. Onomatopoetically, feel into this when you say the words. And this is what I'm talking about, is that language is inherently anatomical. Ya will always resonate at the heart. Ha, always at the throat. Like from the bottom to the top, the lam, vam, ram, yam, Ham, Yam, heart, Ham, throat, and then Aum and silent. And so I started to look at this deeper and found that the Chet was not only balancing it in an elemental way, because the Waw is the water and the Chet is the earth, but it's also, you have the Holy Trinity and the singularity of the fourness of the Father, Mother, Brother, Sister in balance. And I think one of the greatest recognitions we can experiment with, I know it's been useful for me, is not saying Mother Earth, but Daughter Earth, because she too is growing. And I feel that part of this university is the opportunity to become your own realm. This is almost a test of the responsibility you have to govern yourself and properly use the responsibility that becomes the creator. And I'd say that's kind of already how it is, because the body is just a mirror of the earth. Even the Hopi word for woman was walking earth. And it's so beautiful. Yeah, right? Isn't that beautiful? Walking earth. I see women and I think about that, and it's just fills me. And I started to look at the numerology behind this, and how the Yod character is 10, the He is 5, the Waw is 6. I'll show you. So this is the stylized version. That's Yod He Waw Chet, with all alephs in between to have the pronunciation Yod He Waw Chet. And so you have the Yod, which is value of 10. The alephs are all 1. This He is 5. This Waw is 6. And this Chet is 8. And when you add all those up, not only is it 33, but when you stack them on top of each other, the Yod becomes the head, the He becomes the arms that has the gap that is filled by the Waw of the torso that sits perfectly on top of the Chet, which is the feet. So this is the Word made flesh. Shout out to George Carey. Amazing book. Amazing recommendation from Santos if you go to Universal Truth School. That's one of the many books that are mentioned there. So I realized this resonance, and as a photographer who's been interested in art, and also I've been inspired into art by poets and poetry. Shout out to Benny Wills. I just showed a video of his to Santos today. He's part of Joy Camp with Kevin Delman and the crew. And Benny has some amazing poems that I had the honor to witness their birth. And so
posted one on my
so Santos posted one of Benny's poems recently to celebrate the life of his new son.
on Facebook.
On Facebook, on the Book of Faces, where all the fonts are kept. And I have found that this is not only where the image meets the word, because when you stack it on top, it becomes what is speaking and apprehending what is being spoken. So there's this reciprocation going on. So it's kind of the meeting, the convergence of poetry and poesis. Poesis is the root word of poetry, and it means the creation of what is spoken. And so I see, as a photographer, I've been studying art and light, and to see this merging of image and sound has been an endlessly powerful mirror to integrate and appreciate. But not only that, I think that speaking this creates a reciprocating torus field, because when you speak it, it's in an image, it's going head down. Yod He Waw Chet. So that's the fire, father of the head, the brother, air of the arms and lungs, the torso where our waters are. We come from our mother's waters, mother water. And then the Chet, which is daughter earth, the feet are touching the earth. The head is where the most heat is. That's where the fire is. And the air, Gemini, the hands and the lungs. And so when you speak this in an image sense, it's going top to bottom, but in a cymatic anatomical resonance sense, like we talked about with the lam, vam, ram, yam, ham, aum, silence. The yam is the heart, which is also fire, Leo. The ha is the throat, which is also air, Mercury ruling the throat. And then the chet, then the waw is the waters of the head. The head is basically bathing in a sea of water. And then the chet, if you just say chet, you're gonna feel a tingling in the back of your skull and the top of your head. So in a sonic, cymatic, anatomical resonance sense, this is going upwards from the heart. That's blue shift. As a smaller torus field, it's the magnetic area. Whereas the head, arms, torso, the whole shebang down to the feet, that's the red shift. And that's the downward motion. That's larger because red is a longer vibration than the blue. Blue is higher frequency. And so this is my favorite mantra, and I think as all great truths should be, this needs to be something a child can understand. We return to the kingdom of heaven when we are like children, as Kelly said earlier today. Welcome, Kelly.
Thank you.
And woohoo! Welcome, 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 welcome.
Everybody likes to see a goddess.
Oh,
Lift up the
indeed,
camera, lift up the camera.
indeed.
Give glory to the Creator
praise
for this
be
splendid,
to this walking earth.
excellent walking earth
Yes.
sister.
You know the word for woman in Hopi means walking earth?
I feel like I am so connected to the earth.
Yes. Tatvanasi, that art
And
thou.
the universe at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, back to business.
Yes.
Enough with the goddesses.
So when I speak this, even in my head, even when I'm not auditorily saying it, when I'm just sparking it with the field of my body and listening to it with my mind's ear, with the third ear, I can feel a raising from the sacrum to the top of my head. Ya, ha, wa, cha. Especially the cha. The cha is essential. You really want to get down deep and dirty in that throat when you spark that phonetic energy, because that is coming from a very deep place. That's coming from the heart. That is reaching down to a place that English can only intimate through poetry, but is pregnant in these older languages that are anatomically resonant with our biology. Language is medicine. Cymatics is medicine. This is sound healing. And so, ya, ha, wa, cha is both an image of what we are. It's both a top-down reverberation, but it's also the heart up. It is the marriage of those two torus fields and those frequencies of light and sound.